Hello, Zelda Universe Adventurers!
Hey guys!
Welcome to another Zelda Mailbag. I'm Ithaca.
I'm Muse.
And we are here with more answers to your questions.
I feel like she's gonna hunt me for sport.
I am. There's a reason we're outside.
Okay, so our first question is from CP Appa Productions.
New questioner.
New questioner.
New questioner. Welcome.
Hi. I don't remember if you've answered this question in a previous mailbag, but which Zelda characters would you want to see in the new Super Smash Bros. Game?
Ooh! Yay!
Yay! Well, our answer is pretty basic, really.
Yeah, we would like to continue to see Link, Zelda Sheik, and Ganondorf.
And in addition to that, we'd love to see Midna and Ravio.
Yeah.
Because they could both have some really cool, unique attacks. Like, Ravio could be a real technical character with, like,
heaps of different items
that he uses, and Midna could just be really kick butt and use her hair.
She could use her hair to throw people off the edge of the map.
And get small and big.
Yeah. So, that's cool.
We'd like to see those guys.
Yep. That'd be neat. What do you think? What would you like to see?
Yeah, leave us comments on what you'd like to see in the next Smash Bros.
Yeah. So our second question this week comes from Diffused Gamer. What game do you think deserves a remake the most? We did answer a very similar question to this in the CDI mailbag a couple of weeks ago.
And the weirdest part about it is we were actually telling the truth.
Yeah, because, you know, every Zelda game I've ever played has been extremely well realized and just well made. And even if they're old, they're still all really playable because they're all good.
So we don't really want anything to be remade.
But the CDI games are a good place to start because they were them.
Maybe, yeah. And I mean, we would love to see a game where Zelda, like, beats the boss just being herself and using her powers and her wisdom. And maybe Link can't do it for whatever reason.
Yeah, like, there is, floating around the internet, this proposal of a Zelda game where Zelda is basically a girl version of Link, where she has swords and all Link's general stuff, and Link is kind of a princey dude. Which is cool, and I would still play that, but it would be nice to see Zelda win in her own rights against an enemy that Link tries to defeat but can't. Kill it with his sword and his bow and stuff.
And she does it being herself rather than just being girl Link.
Yeah, exactly. That would be really cool. And that kind of does happen in Wand of Gamelon. Doesn't have to have that name.
Nope, doesn't really have to do anything other than be the Zelda thing.
Yeah.
Everything else can be different, that's fine.
But that's what remakes are all about if you've ever seen a film remake of a game.
Or a book.
Yeah. So there's no reason that it has to be the same. But that's our answer.
Our next question is from Susan Munger. You know the backstory in Skyward Sword? Do you think they would make a game where you play as the goddess instead of Link? Or do you think people would be too, "What have you done to my game?" P.S. Thank you so much for answering my question. I flipped out when you answered it.
Thank you. We flipped out when you asked us a question.
Please send us a video of you flipping out.
That part.
That's not great.
Yeah. Thank you. First answer is yes, people probably would flip out.
Yeah. People
However,
would.
Yeah.
People do.
Yes, but then we thought about this question with a bit more depth, but we still think it probably would be difficult to work a game where you play as one of the goddesses.
They're already established as sort of all-knowing, all-seeing deities, so what problems can they have?
Exactly, like if you suddenly have a mortal who can fight the goddesses, then it kind of undermines the premise of the entire series, which is that the Triforce, which is only the essence of the goddesses themselves, can solve any problem, and then you have something that can challenge that power, and potentially you have to have hundreds of these enemies so you can get through an entire game.
I think the only way that a goddess game could exist is if it was like a world-building game.
Ooh.
And it was like a sort of a Sim City or a Project Spark or even a Spore kind of thing, but Hyrule-y.
Something with voxels and Hyrule.
So that could be cool.
Yeah, that could be cool. But a standard, like, traditional playing out the legend of Skyward Sword, the goddess's role in that story, it would be difficult to make it an interesting, compelling game because there's just... In games that work where you play a god, they've already set up that gods are fallible.
Yeah, and
so
that's kind of the complete opposite
yeah,
when it comes to Zelda lore. So,
Especially when there's only 3 gods that we know of and all of them are good. Because how it works in mythology is that gods fight other gods. But that doesn't work if they're all bros.
The other way we kind of maybe could foresee it happening is if someone like Ganon manages to get his hands on all the pieces of the Triforce. And that's just their essences, but maybe up against just one of the gods, that might be able to work.
Yeah. It's still hard. That's the only feasible way we could think of challenging their power, but it still is a little bit.
Not so sure.
Yeah.
It's an interesting question though.
It is.
As you can see, we've thought about it too much.
Too much. Thank you.
Please ask us more.
Yes.
Thanks again for watching our video. We'll be back next week.
Yes, we'll be back next week with more answers to your questions. If you leave us more questions to answer below in the comments or on Zelda Universe's Facebook or their Twitter. I'm gonna go on safari now.
I'm terrified.